Welcome to Quality. All right, I think we're finally good. We are here. Quality's back like we never left. We have another special guest. Wow, that was bars. I'm full of them. Y'all just keep waiting. Y'all keep waiting. We fixed the echo. We got it sounding good in here. I can talk into my mic. I can hear myself. I am Joshua Prophet. I'm here to guide you on your quality journey to a quality life. I'm joined by my girlfriend, Kenya McIntosh. You can check all the socials down there. And we got a special guest. Some people call him Big Cat. Some people call him Mr. UNG. Actually, nobody calls him that. He's a cool guy. He's one of my best friends. Andres Perez. Say hi to the people, Andres.
What up? Hola.
Hey, ¿qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa, mi amigo? So, we got a great show lined up for you today. As you can tell, got a special guest, Andres, and we're just about to got the tea brewing. This tea's hot, burning my mouth. I'm not sure your coaster's stuck.
I know.
But yeah, we're about to have fun. We're about to get to know Andres. He's going to cover, a little bit about his life. We're going to get into, just what has gotten him to his point, how he's able to be successful in sports, what his relationship with God has been like. You saw the intro. So, without further ado, well, let's let him introduce himself. So who are you, Andres? Like, give an elevator pitch about yourself.
Yikes! You're gonna tell me how me pitch myself here. My name is Andres Perez, born and raised here in the A. My family's originally from Venezuela. Always got it on me.
Yes.
So I'm first generation here in the States. Did a lot of things. Have done a lot of things, but baseball, sports has always been like the forefront of it all. Where I got the chance to meet people like you, Joshua Prophet, up at school, and have a lot of cool little relationships throughout my life, and a lot of cool experiences. So filled with a lot of cool stories, good memories, good times, and big foodie too. I love food.
Oh yes. Yeah, we do
Big
too. We
foodie.
do too. And we want to thank you for coming on and wanting to be a guest. Our mission here at Quality is we want to empower people to aim for higher purpose in their faith and beyond. And I think that really aligns with Andres when you really get to know him through this podcast. But that's what we're here to do. And like I said, we're here having a quality time, trying to get you to have a quality life. So let's jump into our first topic.
All right. If you had to pick a song, a movie, a book to describe where you are in life right now, what would it be?
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie to you. This is like the toughest question I think anybody can ever ask me. So just to pre-base it all of it, I am starting to get into books, audiobooks specifically, but not traditionally haven't been very big into books. So that's kind of initially off the list. Movies, I love movies. I just don't spend a lot of time doing it. What I do spend a lot of time on is music. More specifically, anybody that knows me knows that I'm a big Drake guy.
Yeah, Drizzy
like
Drake.
The biggest. So when I was asked this question, I was like, I have to. So this is a long introduction, all to say that I narrowed it down to like 2 or 3. 2 of them are Drake, 1 of them isn't. So I'll start with the non-Drake one for, your Uncle Drip's wine. I'm just kidding. So the non-Drake one is "Time of Our Lives" by Pitbull and Neo.
Okay.
That's a
The
good
whole
one.
song is like, it's pretty exciting. It's like a nice, like upbeat, like party type of song. But specifically in like the last like minute of it, there's a lyric that I've been using like in my life for the past like year, 2 years. And it says, every day above ground is a great day. Remember that. So that's kind of like a small thing. But if I had to do a huge full song, I would probably do "Over" by Drake. Because I've in this new stage of mine where a lot of people that I didn't know, that I haven't known, and it says in the song, "There's a lot of people in here that I didn't know last year. Who are you?" So that's kind of that. And then I feel like I've been everywhere the past, not necessarily the past few nights,
Yeah.
but over the course of like the last couple months, I feel like I've done a lot, been a lot, seen
Mhm.
a lot of places, and met a lot of cool people. And then there's a few lyrics throughout there that kind of have related to me. If you want me to dive into those as well.
Gotcha. No, I like it. I like it. That's a great answer. And I guess I'm gonna ask you. Well, I was gonna ask you like, what was your favorite Drake song, and then you totally pivoted to, oh, these are my favorite Drake songs. So, but what I will ask you is, the podcast, um, or the audiobook question, excuse me,
Oh,
because you said
yeah.
you were getting into audiobooks. Like, what's kind of been like your audiobook experience, and
What
what
kind do you
books? Yeah,
like?
what books are you reading?
Yeah, so I'm very much more on like the nonfictional, like I don't know if motivational is the right word to say.
Hmm.
But it kind of all started just because I was kind of like a weird little headspace, and I just figured I'd try to do something to kind of get out of that. And
Hmm.
I was talking to somebody that I work with, and he was kind of talking about how there's a few that kind of helped him a lot. Um, More specifically by the author named Tim Grover.
Okay.
So a lot of people know him more specifically for being Michael Jordan's personal trainer. And then he had a pretty big role in The Last Dance. But then he's also come out with a few books. The first one I started was Relentless, or the first one I read or heard, I guess. But is Relentless, which is like you just have to be relentless to win, to kind of get that drive to be successful, motivate, and kind of be that person. Then I listened to Winning by him as well, which
Hmm.
about winning, obviously, like what it takes to be a winner, what it takes to succeed and be that person as well. And now I'm currently listening to Can't Be Hurt by what's that guy's name? Hold on. Can't Be Broken, maybe.
Are you frozen? Oh, he actually is frozen. Andres? Oh,
There we
can you hear
go.
us? Oh,
There we
you
go.
okay? Who was it?
Yeah, sorry. So I'm listening to a book called Can't Hurt Me
Hmm.
by David Goggins.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Very
David
much about
Goggins.
mental
Yeah.
fortitude,
Mhm.
mental strength, and kind of just like controlling your mind,
Right.
which is something that I've kind of just hover on surface level, kind of something that I've had to struggle with over the past couple of years. So,
Right.
so definitely a good book, and I'm only like a chapter 2 in, so I'm excited to finish it.
I like it. I like it.
Nice.
No, that's good. I haven't read "Can't Hurt Me" by David Goggins, but I've seen him on another podcast called Impact Theory, and he was very inspirational. Like the dude, like was literally running. I forgot how long. Maybe it was like a marathon or something, but like literally like broke his toe, and he just kept running, and like his mental fortitude is unmatched. Like it's
Crazy.
ridiculous, and the stuff that he's been through in his life has been crazy. So I haven't read his book, but I definitely know a little bit about his story, and I've watched a couple of videos on him. Also a follow up question. So you said you like to listen to audiobooks as opposed to like read an actual book. So is there a specific reason why you don't like read the physical copy, or is it like time, or what's the
Um,
deal there?
I've always, I'll be honest. I think every time I've read a book in the past, I've always been like very bored and like borderline falling asleep just because it's hard for me to focus on it.
Hmm.
Um, so I think with audiobooks, I can listen to it while I'm driving, to work, from work, or just what I typically do is just listen to it while I'm getting ready in the morning, while I'm getting changed, after I eat breakfast, I'm kind of going through everything. I just put it in the background, and I obviously like I focus in on it, but like
Hmm.
I continue to do my daily routine, and to kind of have that, and then obviously you hear stuff, and it's like, whoa, that's good. Let me rewind that. Let me bookmark it. Whatever you can do on audiobooks now, it's pretty cool.
Right.
Um, so it's honestly just convenience, and it kind of I can hear the fluctuation of the narrator's voice. Whoever narrates this one's actually pretty good. The way he puts like certain emphasis on certain words and stuff like that. Kind of like, I don't know, it kind of puts the book more to life, in my opinion. I mean, that's just personal preference, of course, but that's something that I like about it.
No, I agree. And I also have like Audible as well. Or I'm not. Is that
Yeah,
what you
that's it.
listen to? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
Audible. I was
Good.
thinking
That would have
Audible.
been weird. I was like, I'm not stalking you. I promise. But
Yeah.
yeah, I have Audible, and I like listening to it. One, and I think we're kind of similar because we both love music, and so it's just like a natural transition to listen to, consume content. Like even on YouTube, there's some YouTube videos that aren't even podcasts that I'll just listen to because I just get a kick out of just listening to the content. I don't necessarily have to be like seeing the content.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the way we consume music. So I think that was an interesting link from, you being really passionate about music and the fact that you don't necessarily read books, but you consume them through, audio.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah.
For
That's for sure.
me personally, I prefer a book.
Yeah, she is definitely the
I
opposite.
love books. I love them so much, and I just like the physicalness of it. I like that I can write little notes on the side of it, whatever the case may be. I can highlight, like, yeah, team books all
I
the
would
way.
love to be able to be into books. Well, hopefully one day I will be, but it's taken. Well, I haven't tried to read a book in a while, so that's shame on me. But
Yeah, I think I'm too ADHD to like, unless it's like a book that we're reading together and I'm like kind of engaging with another person while reading the book. Like if I'm just sitting, it's hard for me to just kind of get through it without falling asleep. So that's why like I read the Bible every morning and I only read one chapter because if I read past that, I mean, if I'm feeling lucky, I might read more. But if I read past a chapter, generally, it's just like I just, but I can listen to it all day. And so
yeah,
generally, I'll always have some like form of Christian content, whether it's like commentary on something or, the audiobook of the Bible playing during the day. So yeah,
right.
but I love it. I love it. And I think that's going to lead us into our second question pretty well.
What role has sports played in your everyday life?
Sheesh. I think it's played a tremendous role. I started playing baseball at the age of 3, organized baseball. It is. I one of the first pictures I have is me with the bat in my what's it called, where you put the babies in?
Crib.
Crib. Yeah, I had a bat and glove in my crib with me.
Yeah.
That's like one of my earliest pictures, and so I don't know. I think teamwork. I think being dedicated and committed to something and to working hard for it is something that I've taken with me now that I've like escaped that realm of my life and transferred into, the business world. I've seen a lot of people that don't really work hard, don't really have that accountability, and that's something that you have to have in all sports, especially in team sports, because obviously you're working all together to get to the final, the championship, the game winner, whatever it is. And you have to be able to hold yourself accountable
Right.
and hold others accountable as well. So that's just like one of the things, as well as like just being able to work with other people, be able to adapt to people that are not like you, whether that's interests, passions, like motivation, whatever it is. Find what works for you and other people, and use that to get to the common goal that you're looking for. That's kind of the biggest thing I would say is helped me. The impact that sports has had, and not to mention, of course, all the memories, the friendships, experiences that I've had, which are countless, abundant, and never
Yeah,
ending.
for real. Like,
So,
I can definitely second that. Now, can you just touch on, like you said, accountability, which is like a big word, and that was one of the big things at North Georgia was like gotta be accountable for like all your actions and everything. So, just what has that word like? How has that transitioned into the business world for you? Like,
yeah.
has it been hard to be accountable now that you're more in a corporate role? Now that you're not playing sports anymore, what does that look like for you now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the biggest thing that I took, or not even that I took, but the biggest, the toughest thing for me to kind of accept
Mm-hmm.
when I kind of move past the sports into the my business corporate world is that the hard work is much different, right? I'm used to the physical, like the grind of getting in the gym, practice, all these different things. Now it's more mental, and a lot of that has to do with accountability. Because with the physical side, like you can go and work out and like you check that off. But with the mental side of things, you can kind of like zone out or like just kind of go through the motions and do something and be like, yeah, I did it. But were you really like into it when you were doing that is a real question, right? And that's not fair to you, but obviously not fair to the person that you're working with, the company, the organization, the group, whatever you want to call it. And also just making sure you get your stuff done. Especially in like where I'm at now, like I'm with people. It's a people's business, and I'm constantly engaging, constantly trying to be that example. And there's no better way to be a positive example and to show others how to do it if you're not accountable to what it is that you do, the actions that you do, the ways you carry yourself, and like the intangibles, right? That's kind of like the big thing. And it's funny you bring up Notre Dame. I think one of the things that we always used to laugh at, but it's really true, is like the whole idea of my bad gets you beat. Like, oh, my bad. Like coach would always get really upset by that.
My bad gets you beat.
And like we looked at it, like I think, the young, naive, young adults would always be like, yeah, whatever, like it's not a big deal. But then I've kind of learned to appreciate it. Obviously I still say my bad or like that's on me, whatever. But like I think part of that is just being accountable and like accepting if you make a mistake, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, is to say it and then prove that words or actions speak louder than words. If you just say that you're sorry and you don't make a change, and it doesn't matter. But if you say you're sorry and you continue to like work to do the right things and get to the right result, regardless of if you get the results or not, that speaks volumes in my opinion. So that's kind of the accountability that I've had and that I've gathered from my experiences on and off the field.
I like it.
Good stuff.
You have anything to add?
No.
Yeah, I think with accountability, it's really about a lot of people think it's more of a mental check off. Okay, I was here for this person, but it's more of like the actions, like you were saying. Like it's more about you actually taking the steps to do what you said you were. So it's like the accountability coupled with the I word, integrity. Because when you repeatedly show that you're accountable, then you're forming the characteristic of integrity, and that's shaping kind of who you are and what people will know you as, and that's very huge. For what I've learned in corporate America, that's very huge. Is if you gotta be accountable, like you said, but then when at my old job, Enterprise, like one of the big things that got you promoted was not only your performance, but like your personal brand, which was basically how people talked about you, like how the people in your area, like what did they say about you, to the higher ups or to, just what was the word around. Like everybody has that reputation. And like, okay, like back to sports, oh yeah, that guy's a stud. Like he can hit a ball 400 feet, 5 times out of 10 MVP. And he really has a good glove, but he's, we call him douchebags, right? He's not a good person.
She's like,
and
what?
So, yeah, she was like, what? Yeah, but, because, she thinks the douche is another thing. But, but he's like a horrible person, right? And so his personal brand or his reputation in baseball, which would equate to a personal brand in corporate America, wasn't good. And although you might be good as far as like your ability and your skill set, there's somebody else that's probably just as good, who's more put together, who's going to be more accountable, who's has that integrity. And so you always got to be mindful of that as you go forward, which is something that I think sports really teaches you when you're growing up. But even if you don't play sports, like that's just a huge piece that you got to get down. If you want to be, not even in corporate America, just a business professional in general, whether you're like a doctor or whatever you're going to be. So, yeah, I think it's
image is a big thing.
And I think not even just like corporate or like at work, but like in your everyday life, I think accountability is important because it not only like helps you reach your goals, but it helps other people around you. And you never know how that's going to inspire them. So
That's very true. That's very true. And we're going to jump into, got some snaps for that one. We're going to jump into our third segment here.
all right, can you tell us about your relationship with God and how it came to be?
Yes. So from the very beginning, was raised in the faith as a very strong believer. Like, checked off all the boxes. Like, I went to church every Sunday. Like, I would pray every night, do all those things. Kind of like the traditional sense. I think where my relationship with God really picked up was my senior year of high school, when I kind of realized that like there's more to this than just spending an hour on a Sunday or like 15 minutes a day just praying or whatever. I realized that there's a lot more that we can do, not only from like our personal relationship, but also what we do to spread the word, to be like the ambassadors, the waterfall, whatever you want to call it, of our faith.
Mm-hmm.
And then that kind of brought me into college, and I had a much bigger platform to pursue that. More specifically, like I think we're an organization that we have called Fellowship of Christian Athletes that I was really, really big into. It honestly kind of changed my perception on a lot of things, because it kind of it didn't really matter what the religion was, what like specific organization was, but it focused on the relationship that you would have, and brought a lot of people from a lot of different perspectives, backgrounds, genders, obviously, and races and all that stuff. But like, we were all pursuing our relationship with God and making sure that we were doing everything we could to pursue it personally, but also as a whole, and being able to spread that word in outreaches and stuff like that. And that's kind of where I'm at now. I've built a pretty strong relationship, I would say, and now I just want to help others achieve that same thing, and have us, like, going back to the same word, hold us each accountable to making sure that we're having a positive and like actually engaging relationship, instead of just make it seem like social media, like, oh, I pray every day,
Right.
I do this or that, but like actually, forget what people may think or what they may say, but like genuinely focus on having one-on-one, like sit down and talk to him, or talk to others and help you grow your faith and believe in his trust and his grace, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, and that's why
Hey,
Jesus loves
if
you.
you guys didn't know,
Amen.
if you didn't know.
I love it. Wait, show it one more time.
So,
I had it on the. Let's show it one more time. There it is.
Hey.
There it is.
Love
if you
it.
didn't know.
I love it. I love it. What can you touch on? Like, was there like a specific, lesson or message that really stood out to you during your time in FCA?
I wouldn't say specific message.
Mm-hmm.
I would say more like an experience that I had. And Prof, you'll understand this, where I'm coming from. Like, when in college, it's kind of a roller coaster of emotions and stuff
Right.
that happened to me. To touch on it surface level, my first 2 years were really good. Everything was going well. And then my junior year, my third year, I had surgery on my shoulder. And it threw a giant curveball at me. Like, I just didn't know what was going on. Didn't understand why. Was questioning a lot, doubting a lot. And so that's kind of when I don't want to say I struggled in my faith, but I started to question, and I started to really get into it. Like, why this, why that, why whatever. And then through SGA and through a lot of really cool people, really good people like Prof, and like people that I was exposed to every day, I was reminded that, there is a greater plan. There is, I know the plans I have to prosper you, to bring you joy and not, whatever, right? Like those stuff like that truly have affected me and taught me these life lessons that I take with me now. And like, understand that just because it's not how I want it to go,
Right.
that there's a greater plan. So I think, to answer your question, not really one specific passage or verse. Well, I guess there are a few, but that experience of going through that mentally, physically, obviously having surgery, but mentally,
Right.
And then spiritually in my faith was something that kind of threw me, kind of helped me hone into my faith and understand the importance of it. And obviously a lot of really good conversation and some valuable lessons. And yes, there were some teachings and stuff that helped. And if you want, I can dive into those. But
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, what was I guess more so you were injured, and these were some serious injuries um, that, were kind of threatening your career to an extent. What was like the mindset shift that you had to have? Because, of course, like you got hurt, came back, and then you got hurt again. So, like, that's I can definitely, from a person that's probably been healthy, his whole baseball career, and now you're at like, the peak of your athleticism in college, doing really well. Like, what was the mindset shift that you had to have going from, okay, I was doing really well to like now, like how did you persevere through that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the biggest thing that I like, the mindset change that came along with it was that it's not just about me. I would place a lot of like, I have to do well, I have to do this, and like I would disguise it as like, if I'm doing well, I'm helping the team out,
Hmm.
right? And I didn't feel like I was being selfish at all, and I don't think anybody that played with me would say that I was, but I know deep down now, looking in retrospect, that I was.
Right.
Um, so I think after I got hurt, I started to take more of like a personal relationship with people on the team and kind of honed in on my leadership role. Right
Right.
now, I didn't really have anything to do on the field, and I was kind of like behind the scenes in the dugout. Like I would same spot every inning and like just sit there and watch. And if anybody had any questions to ask me, I would give you an answer because I was watching every single at bat, every single pitch, everything. Right. And now I would put more focus on making sure I was helping others grow. Right. And that's obviously physically on the field and like their performance, but I would have a lot of really good conversations. And I think to this day, I still have conversations with people that like tell me that the way that I carried myself that year really inspired them and motivated them. And I got a text not too long ago from somebody that's on the team saying that because of all that, he kind of got into the faith now. And he's kind of
I
not
love
into
it.
it, but like really honed in on it, really got
Yeah.
like more serious about it. And that's, that's what it's all about, right? Like the stuff I did on the field was cool and all, but like
That's
nothing
what
compares to
that's what
you being
matters.
able to
Yeah.
do something
Look at
more.
you
Yeah,
being
exactly.
used.
No, I love it.
So,
I love it.
that's the really, that's like what motivates me, what keeps me on track, I guess. That sort of thing.
No, I love it, man. Cause like I can definitely there was people on the team that would have never have even gone to church or any sort of event that we may have had, that just because we were really cool with them, they would come to some things, or maybe they'd come to
Right.
church with us, or at least try it out, or they'd ask questions, and we always had good conversations, especially in the outfield. So
Yeah.
like it was the impact that you could have beyond the your actual impact on the field. That's what I really think was left, especially on for me as a player at North Georgia and as an athlete, because that's something that people will always have is the experience that you left with them and how you treated them. And so I think that's a big part of being a Christian as well. And I really learned that my sophomore year, because coming off my freshman year, I played pretty much every game. And
Right.
then after that, it I wasn't really playing that much. Like my sophomore year, like that was your freshman year. We had that big run, and so at first I was like, man, like this sucks. Like, and then I was like, I mean, I can't pout about it though. And so
Right.
I started, like you said, started trying to figure out, well, I mean, I'm here. I got to be here. There's no point in being, you know, mad about it, or else you're just going to be miserable and make everybody around you miserable. And so what I do, I just started becoming, the biggest support that I could be, right? And when I
Right.
got my opportunities, I tried to make the most of them. And so that's when I really, stepped into like a more leadership role. Even though I wasn't playing, I was always throwing the balls out to the people coming in, giving the balls. I was always making sure everybody was up in the dugout, no matter if we were, down or if we were up big, making sure everybody was like, come on, let's we got to finish them off. We can't let them get back in this game. And so, and that was something that coach really actually, gave me props for at the end of the year. He was like, yeah, you didn't play that much, but I mean, you were like such a good, supporter and crucial part of the team just because of your involvement and interaction with the guys. And so I think that's really important for people to get, is even though you might not be in the role that you want to be or that you're aspiring to be, you got to make the best of the situation that you have. And at the end of the day, it's all about impacting people, right? Like we say all the time here, it's like we want to empower you to aim for higher purpose so that you can go out and you can make an impact in the world and you can help people, overcome their curses. And so that was beautiful, man. I love it.
Yes.
Love it. You have anything to add, Miss Kenya?
So guys, if someone's like, I want to be on y'all's level one day, like, how can they start? And like, what should they do?
So what do you mean by our level?
Like faith wise.
Oh, okay. Just like, okay. I'll let Andres answer first because I have a very, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing for me is you got to help yourself before you can help others. If you're not in a good space, it doesn't mean you have to be like 10 out of 10 perfect, but like if you're not in a good spot to be able to, trust what you're saying, trust what you're doing and help others, then I don't think it's going to be fair to the other person, let alone yourself, to be able to take from something that you don't have. Like I look at it like this is like the base. This is where you have all your, for lack of a better term, this is where the thing is, like your mentality, your faith origin. If you don't have from here to take to other people, you don't have enough, then you're going to be left drained. You're not going to be able to have the ability to go out and impact people, really. So I think first you have to focus on your relationship, make sure you have that down packed. And then once you do that, whether that's focusing on the word, like reading the Bible, or like just having conversations with people that have, a solid background or a solid base to work from, or just go to church, whatever it is that works for you, right? And then once you have built up a good relationship, a good foundation, then you can take from that and build to other people.
Right.
Kind of let them use you as like a stepping stone to further their walk and get along their walk a little bit farther, I guess is a better word to say.
I like it. Yeah, definitely. Like you always use like the cup analogy of like, if your cup's empty, you can't pour anything into other people, right? And so like you got to make sure that your cup is filled, and only way for your cup to be filled is by, doing, the disciplines and principles of the faith, right? To where like you're praying, you're reading, you're in communion with God, and he can, start filling your cup. And as he fills your cup, then you can, pour into other people. So I love it. My answer is how can people get to our level? Because I wouldn't say that we're at like, this crazy level, right? I mean, I hope that we're inspiring people, but I mean, we're always looking to be better because, every man falls short. And so I'll always use this analogy. It's like, it's the same way you build a mansion, right? It's like one brick at a time. And so you just, every single day, you just lay a couple bricks, put down the mortar, just do something every single day to build your house. And then you'll look up one day and you'll be like, wow,
It's done.
Or better yet, when you get to heaven, then you'll inherit your mansion. So that's a better way to even look at it, if we're going along that metaphor. And so like, I mean, just every day, just build, a small piece and add it to your faith. And it's the same thing as compound interest, right? It's like, yeah, I put in $1 here, $1 here, $1 here, and that just compounds over time. And you look up and 10, 20 years later, that $5 that you put in, those couple bricks that you laid, are now just, a huge house, a bunch of money. And so that's how you have to do it. And that's how you build any skill, is, one brick at a time, just one thing at a time, day in, day out, just being very disciplined, being very diligent. And it takes a lot of accountability, going back to, the first thing that we said, and it takes a lot of perseverance, because there's going to be a lot of times when you're just like, bump this, right? I'm not feeling it. There's going to be times like Andres when you're questioning, like, man, like life's hard, right? But those are the times when, I mean, it's okay to question it, but it's also the times when you got to, really dive deeper into it, and you'll have that understanding of like why you're doing it and what you're doing it for and who you're doing it for. right? Because ultimately it's not about you, like you said, it's for the glory of God, bringing people to him. So
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. That's going to bring us to our fourth question. Kenny Mac, what we got?
How do you know what opportunities to pursue next?
Oof. Great question. There's a lot of opportunities that I do want to pursue. So this is a good question. I think the best way, kind of digging on what we just talked about, is God will give you the sign. God will like push you or kind of hold you back or put stuff in your way sometimes that may not let you accomplish those goals or reach those opportunities. So just trusting the bigger picture. But I think everybody has like intuition, like that gut feeling that like I need to do this or I need not to do this, whether it's a big risk, little risk, or anything in between. If you have the fire, the desire inside of your heart, fire and desire, not like Drake or nothing, but if you have the fire and desire in your heart to pursue something, I think it's very valuable for you to go past, like to go to that. The worst thing that you can do in life is have regrets. And if you regret not doing something or not having something checked off the list, even if it didn't work out, even if it just failed and never jumped off, never took off, like I'd rather that happen than me never even tried it. So that's kind of the mentality that I have now. Every time a new opportunity comes up, like I'd rather give it a shot. I'd rather try it out. And then at the end, if I didn't succeed or if it didn't work out, at least I gained something. I gained experience. I gained knowledge. I gained, even a relationship that was something that I can build off eventually. And I know the fruit of all that is gonna, prove to be fulfilling later on.
I like it. Yeah, for sure, man. Because when it comes to opportunities and stuff, you really just gotta just go with what's in your path, right? So like if you're seeking out like something, first of all, let me back up a little bit. First of all, opportunities aren't just, some opportunities are put in your way, but if there's something that's kind of been tugging at you, go seek those opportunities. Even if you don't know how it's going to work out, if you're not looking for it, you can't see it, right? And so you got to kind of be on the hone down, like, yeah, all right, this is kind of what I want to do. And then you become aware of that as you're going through your life. And then you'll start to see when those opportunities open, as opposed to, just, yeah, that's something I want to do. Right. And then it's kind of just in the back of your mind, and maybe an opportunity would have come open or was right in front of you, but you weren't aware of it. Like you weren't really seeking it. And so you weren't able to, respond to the opportunity that was actually that was presented right there. You just didn't see it.
For sure.
So,
and I think to kind of to build off of that, I think, oh, sorry, go ahead, Kate.
No, go ahead. It's okay.
Okay, thanks. I think a lot of times we wait for the perfect timing of something.
Yeah.
Whenever it comes to a new opportunity, like, oh, we had it's got to be perfect, like this, that, and the other. I'll know when to do it. But in reality, that never comes. We're always waiting for something, but the best time to do it is the present. Because not everything is ever going to line up in order for you to be able to do something. So kind of like what you said, like sometimes we're not in the best frame of mind. We're not in this or that and the other, but sometimes stuff are placed in our way and we have the opportunity to do it, but we are too scared because of mental like blocks or mental things that we have, mental images that we create. That kind of block us away from doing what we want to do. Right. And that's going to give us more opportunity later on. And it's kind of build our experiences, and ultimately our mind and our engagement and our enthusiasm through life, I guess.
I like it.
Yeah. And like what you were saying about sometimes it's like you're not seeking for it, but I think it also goes back to like fear sometimes. Like you could be seeking it and it could be right in front of you, but you're not going for it because you're afraid or you have anxiety about it.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm not ready.
It's like the fear of success sometimes. It's like, but what if I'm actually good at this? Like what happens then? And then I'll have all this responsibility and accountability back to that. And that sometimes you're crippled by, what could be in a good sense, what exactly you want, you're crippled by it. And so some people, purposely put themselves in a cycle of mediocrity. But I want to go back to what Andres said. Your breakdown reminded me of a quote that Sean Cannell says all the time. And he says, the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. But the second best time to plant a tree is right now, which means like, all right, so you missed the best time to plant a tree 10 years ago, but you can plant one today.
That's good.
And if you plant one today, guess what? Back to building the brick or building the mansion, right? Now you're putting the bricks up. Now that tree's starting to grow. And before you know it, it's going to be 10 years down the road, and it's going to be, one of those great oaks or whatever the best tree is out there, And so, yeah, you just gotta be looking for those opportunities so that you can take advantage of them, instead of, and don't be crippled by it. Like Kenya was saying, don't be crippled by the thought of, what could be. That's exactly what you want. So just go and get it. Go and take care of it. But yeah.
Oh, and usually if you're scared of it, that means that's where you're supposed to go. For the most part.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In that sense.
Yeah.
In that sense, if you're seeking something that is a good opportunity, and that's something that's righteous and
something that you've been praying about.
Yeah. Not just anything out there. Yeah. Don't do that.
There's always going to be a little hesitation.
Right. Yeah, that's good. We got one more question for you, Mr. Andres.
Why have you made the decision not to be or get in a relationship?
The hard-hitting questions you got today, huh? I love it. Why have I? Well, I'm not currently in a relationship. So my answer is why not? I think honestly, it's the fact that I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. I know that there's been a lot of experiences in my life that have made me think one way or the other. Mm-hmm. And so I'm kind of in a spot right now that I want to be able to make sure I'm at where I need to be, where I want to be. Kind of just focus on myself, right? There's nothing, I'm not necessarily opposed to it or like not looking or this or that and the other, but I'm not by any means desperate or like I need somebody right now. I may have the occasional like, where's my wife? Like I need my wife today. Like where is she? Like, that always comes on, but like that's always like from a joking standpoint, right? Like I truly understand that when the right one comes, it's just going to come and it's going to happen, right? And so I'm not necessarily stressed out about looking for her or like trusting that she will come, but I'm just working on bettering myself and trusting that God's plan is how He is, and whenever that one comes down my path and we collide, that I'll be ready to pursue that.
I love it. So that's why he's single, ladies and gentlemen, or more specifically, ladies. I love it. Thank you. Now we do have a curveball for you. I don't know if you've watched our podcast, but we do have a segment called Rapid Fire. So we are going to rapid fire some questions at you, presented by Wartown Creative. So.
All right. Sandlot or bench warmers?
Say that first one.
Sandlot or bench warmers?
Ooh. See, I'm just a funny guy. I love comedy, so I'm gonna say bench warmers.
Bench warmers. Okay.
Ideal age to get married?
Shoot, right now? I'm just kidding. 26, 27.
Perfect date?
Ooh. Foodie, big foodie. So a great spot to go eat at, like good food. Probably like a 5-course meal. Not actually, but like a, appetizer, nice things. And then, I don't know, I like doing adventure stuff. Going out or like doing something around the town, around the city. Being outdoors and just like laughing, having a good time. I like movies and I like going to movies, but I think that you kind of lack the personal touch of like communication and all that stuff. So food, experience, and a good time.
Are soulmates real?
I'm gonna say yes.
Does family approval
Did I
matter?
explain it?
Nope. Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, go ahead.
okay.
Ask it again.
Does family approval matter?
In terms of relationships?
Yes. Yes, in terms of relationships, not
Um,
not the answer.
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
All
That
right.
is rapid fire, ladies.
You
and gentlemen.
survived.
You did survive. You did survive.
I think I said it wasn't as rapid as you guys intended it to be.
No, yeah, it's all good. Oh, well, you should have saw one of the Marquell and who was it? Marquell and
Daniel.
Dan. They just Marquell was like, ah. he was frozen for like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
It was
he was.
hilarious. But yeah, man. So
Soulmates.
yeah, soulmates. You think soulmates are real?
I think they can be.
Okay.
That's
all
why I
right.
said yes. I
So
think
in what? Yeah, in what? So that's a better question. Like in what capacity are soulmates?
I think that two people can be very compatible and
Mhm.
very like similar, or maybe not even similar, but like very compatible for one another, and
Mhm.
everything aligns perfectly. Now, there's a lot more that goes into it. Behind this, I don't even say behind the scenes, but there's a lot more that goes into it. It's just a surface level, like um, attributes or like similarities, passions, interests, beliefs, faith, all that stuff. But I think those do play a big role, and that's why I say yes. But I know that there's a lot of intangibles, a lot of just outside factors that are a big deal and do play a pretty big role in that. So um, I guess that's my answer. I guess that's the capacity in which I meant.
I got you. I like it. I like it. So I mean, there could be more than one person that fits that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
that's kind of what we were getting at, right? Kind of the one, because some people are like, "There's only the
Oh,
one
are you
out
saying like
there."
if there's
Only
just the
one.
one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh no.
Good. All right.
No.
Because yeah, some people are
No.
like, it's gotta be like this person, and if he doesn't have a tattoo of a tiger on his chest, then he's not the one,
No.
even if he's got all the characteristics and checks everything off the box.
Married at first sight reference.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
Yeah, no.
crazy.
I'd have been married a long time ago.
Oh wow, yeah, you. Yeah. That's hilarious. So yeah, man, Andres, thank you for coming on, man. This was a lot of fun. We had a quality time with you, brother. Just tell them where they can find you.
Yes, quality time for sure. It was right here. My
Yep.
little
Yeah, you're
stuff
right.
right there.
Yeah,
Right there.
right there.
Right there.
That's
12 Andres Perez on Instagram. I don't know what my Twitter is. Don't really use it that much, but I might be opening up a new food account. So whenever that happens, you'll know where to see me.
that's a good idea. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to follow that because I
Same.
know you love food. I know.
I had Nigerian food for the first time last week, and I had Haitian
Ooh.
food for the first time yesterday. So,
Uh huh.
and I recorded it. So your boy, we're going places.
I love
You
it.
gotta try Ethiopian food next.
Oh,
So
some
good.
tips.
Yes.
I've heard so much about it. I've never tried it though.
So
So
good.
that's
And
nice.
there's a restaurant in Atlanta called Desta. You should go there. It's good.
Oh, he's all over it.
Man,
No, invite me, or invite us when you go, because
Oh, yeah.
we'll
Shoot, I'm
definitely come
ready.
up for that, for sure. Man, this has been fun. Kenya, where can they find you?
Find me on IG, the Kenya McIntosh, and on YouTube, Kenya McIntosh, period.
Period. I'm Josh
period, fool.
Profit. You can find me at Prof Tips TV. That was not supposed to happen. There we go. You can find us, and you can find QualiTEA on our Facebook page. Come join our Facebook group, man.
Yes.
It's lit in there. We got prompts going up all the time. We're having a good time. So come follow us.